Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share a game that I played against Ting Chi at the Parma Chess Club. So, in this particular game, I was 2 out of 2, but Ting was as well. And so we were fighting to win the quad. Now, as you may notice, Ting is, pretty, he's much higher rated than me. And although I have one win against him in the past, I'm pretty sure that I lost every other game that I played against him, and some of them he just strategically just outplayed me, just outclassed me. So I have a lot of respect for this player, but I usually have black against him. So now it's time to see what I can do with the white. So let's have a look at it. So I go e4 because I'm uncompromising. He goes c6, I go d4, he goes d5. So we have a Caro-Kann. Of course, I trade and play c4. This is the Panov attack. I'm attacking the center immediately, but I'm also willing to take on this isolated queen pawn position if he wants to go into that. So he goes knight to f6. I go knight c3. He goes knight c6. I go knight f3. Now, in this position, I will tell you that the normal move here is bishop to g4. Well, I mean, it's a theoretical move, and I mean, it's a good move for black, right? Like, or at least it should be. But the downside of bringing the bishop out to g4 is that it no longer protects the pawn on b7. And it also sort of abandons this diagonal, which could become a problem. So here, white can play queen b3, and this is a double attack on the d5 pawn and this pawn on b7. And then, now black can try to trick us. They can take here. And then we could be like, ooh, cool, I'll just take this now. And then they could take back. And then it's like, oh. You can say you can't do that. And I think, even a different order is no good. But, so you got to take with a pawn when they do this. I've had this position many, many, many times. Actually, I'm wrong. Because you know what? The actual move is to take first. I just realized. Yeah, this is the problem with the position. We have to trade first, allow this, and then play queen b3, because now we're not just threatening to win a pawn, we're threatening to win a piece. And now that trick I was talking about makes way more sense, right? Because it's not just a pawn. If we tried to win this piece, they take here, and yeah, we're down a piece. So you have to take this way, and e6 is the move, and the game goes on. It usually goes something like this. And okay, it's very interesting stuff, but I'm showing you that because that is the way the game normally goes. But Ting played a move that, I mean, I was very suspicious of, but he's played it before, and it is theory. It's just, it looks like trash, and that's the move bishop to e6. Yeah, why am I saying it looks like trash? Well, my coach also said it was trash. But if you look at it on a deeper level, then you understand that black is making a concrete threat. Okay, any beginner would do that part. But black also understands that blocking the e-pawn is not such a big deal because they can play g6 and bishop g7. And okay, there's lots of lines of theory here. So, okay, but that being said, I don't care what the theory is. During the game, I was like, well, how do I punish this, right? Like, he's blocking his pawn. This is not desirable. And he's making a threat. How do I punish this move? And I thought what I really want to do is develop quickly, but then he'll take here. So I really do have to deal with it. So I played c5, and this is called the Botvinnick bind. And so I'm binding up the black position a little bit. And also, the bishop just looks completely silly now on e6 because the purpose of the bishop there was to capture on c4. Well, guess what? That's not happening. And now he's just a big pawn, right? And he's blocking the e7 pawn. So this bishop does not belong here anymore. So that's good, right? I think of that as a gain of time because, okay, maybe I'm wasting time pushing a pawn, but he's going to have to waste time moving his bishop and then eventually playing e6 or e5. You can't leave this. You can't. So yeah, I thought c5 was a really nice way to play it. And the last idea behind it is that if you have noticed, we have a 4-3 majority on the queen side. So that does mean that I'm going to play more positional in this game, probably. My coach, Ben Oshami, actually showed me how I could be aggressive even in this, but like still use the light square diagonal, which I did not understand, but also, I mean, that 4-3 means that we can play on the queen side. We have an endgame advantage on the queen side and so forth. So Ting goes g6. This is probably theory. I go bishop b5. He goes bishop g7. Okay. Now was a semi-difficult decision because, okay, I went here. Why? Because I want to go knight e5. That is why. And I thought after knight e5, there was some stuff here. Like, in my estimation, black has 2 moves. They can move the bishop to d7, in which case I might just take it. And now I have 2 bishops. And how bad could I really be, you know? Like, maybe they play queen takes or knight takes, but either way, I don't think I'm too upset about this. And it's not like I even have to take it. But he could also just play rook c8. Okay, let's say he does that. Now let's pile on the roast beef at Arby's. Queen a4. So now the knight is pinned and attacked a lot, but okay, maybe here, you know, like, how do I, like, what do I do from here? And I didn't see a clear way to do it. Also, I saw that I could fall into a trick, right? Like, what if he doesn't play rook c8? What if he plays here and I go queen a5? I thought maybe he could play this. And the problem with this is that if I take the bishop, he boomerangs back. So he just stole a piece. And now I'm losing. So I did see this. And I thought, I don't want any part of that. But my coach is telling me that after this move, I could take with a pawn that attacks a knight. So, and if they go here, you know, I don't even have to take with a queen. I could actually take with a knight. Threatening discovered everything, like double check. But even here, I feel like knight d7 is a concern. They save their knight and block the diagonal. And I was analyzing with the computer earlier, well, a few days ago. And it seemed like it was fine, so I'll look now. It says black is -1. Yeah, like, why? Black is -1. Their knight is removed from danger. It blocks the danger. Black is ready to castle. They also have pressure on my pawn. Like, I'm a little more active, but not much. Like, I don't know. So I did see stuff like this during the game. Now, it turns out there were lines my coach showed me that were, like, really convincing, but I don't think the computer buys it. And I'm not sure that I would go for it unless I was more sure. So after bishop g7, I just go bishop to f4. So that was a key moment. That's why I focused on that. But bishop f4 just develops a piece. And, okay, I mean, how bad could the bishop be here? So he castles, I castle. And he goes bishop g7. Of course, he wants to reroute the bishop and play maybe e6 or e5. Like, you can't leave this weakness there. So I play rook e1. Let's attack it. He goes rook e8. And I go... Yeah, in this position, I went a3. Okay, so now I had a bit of a tunnel vision thinking in this game, or maybe just lack of understanding, which is probably the case. I was really under the impression after I played c5 that this is just a positional game and I'm just playing on the queen side and that's it. And that is why I didn't play knight e5. I mean, it definitely played into that decision, and that's why I didn't play actively. I was like, look, I'm just going to go for this. I just want this. That's all I want. I want b4, b5, a4, and then, you know, try to make a pass pawn on the queen side. And I was very committed to this plan. Now, it turns out that that is a good plan. It's fine. But I don't even have to prep it. Like, my coach has shown me how I could just play b4, like, and just sack this pawn. Like, this is definitely possible. Is it, though? I don't think it is here, but I could be wrong. Okay, so let's try it. I'm not even looking at the engine. If they take here, do we have anything? That is my question. I don't even think black would take, though. It does look sketchy to take that. Honestly, I might go rook b1. That is what I would think about doing in a real game. Because I like that it attacks this knight. If he just goes back, I mean, you just open this up. I'm more active. He stole a pawn, but to me, I feel like I have compensation for that. Like, I'm pretty good with this. Let's see what the engine says. It says, yeah, equalish, black slightly better. Oh, I can live with that. That means I have full compensation. All right, so the engine does give knight takes b4, and it gives rook b1. Oh, so I did play that right. And then it gives knight c6. Wow, so I did analyze that correctly. And then it gives h3. Wow. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. Yeah, there is, yeah, I remember analyzing now. This bishop actually should come to g4 and pin me, right? I mean, it's sort of an obvious thing to do in this structure. It's like when they go here, like that's probably just wrong. They should probably just go here. And now they're threatening to take, and play knight takes. So like in a position like this, I probably have to take the knight. I don't know. Computer says no, just play bishop b3. Okay, I mean, that's a little passive for my taste. Let's say I took. Okay, and they take back. Then it says I should go h3. Because now they can't win the pawn. Now I play queen takes. Yeah, now they're saying black is better after knight d7. Which is a little surprising, but maybe e5 is on the menu. Yeah, maybe e5 is on the menu. Okay. But I want to get back to the game now. All right, so after after I did not go b4 immediately, sacking a pawn and going for all that stuff. I just went a3, like simple chess, right? Like, oops. Like I'm going to go b4 and it's protected. Then I'm going to move my bishop and I'm going to play b5. This is the point. And I'm just going to push my pawns on the queen side. That is my plan. So he goes knight h5, which does open up pressure on d4, but also attacks the bishop, which is currently hanging. Of course, I didn't see this could happen. I went bishop g5, bishop g4. Yeah, so I should have went h3 earlier, apparently. Like, this idea is strong. The computer thinks it's strong. The computer is materialistic, too, so. Bishop e2 was my idea, h6. Okay, I'm turning the computer off. I don't want the computer involved in this. All right, so, okay, he's taking my bishop. I went back here. I did understand that d4 was sensitive, so I went here, and now he goes. Actually, he thought a long time here, and he played knight to f6. Yeah, because why is the knight here? If it's not taking the bishop, then why is it here? If he's not winning the d-pawn, why is it there? So he goes back. Okay, so now I go h3 because, you know, please take me, give me two bishops. He did. Okay, now I'm the one with pressure. And then he played e6. And I think his, if I had to guess what Ting's thought was, I think his thought was like, hey, I'm solid, and I've been dying to play this move the whole game. Like, my bishop was in the way and everything, and Now my pawn's safe and I can just play from here. But you have to admit white's better here. White has more space with the c5 pawn. White has 2 bishops. You know, and white's plan is like about to happen. So I think during his think, he also considered a6 to stop my plan. But okay, let's look at the game. I went queen d2. Now, in hindsight, I think queen d2 might have been a little bit of a mistake because there is this move. And now this knight is getting super active, right? He's either coming in here with the fork or he's coming into c5. And why am I allowing that? Like might grab a bishop. I don't know. He might grab a pawn. I don't know. So I think queen d2 was a little bit wrong. I'll ask the computer what it wants now. Of course, it says queen d2. So let's see what it wants after this. It says queen c2. Okay, I would think I was losing time. But apparently we're just guarding everything. And what if he goes in here? Then it says bishop f4. We just move our bishop. And then we're threatening b3 probably. Okay, computer is maneuvering. Queen d2, though, to human is not that great. Like, why allow that? But I'd played it, and it turns out it's fine. So I go b4. He goes I thought he went e5. He went a6. Now, honestly, I think he should go e5. This seems more combative and more testing. And this is something Michael Jolson showed me than just playing a6, which is a bit passive. But okay, I'm not going to show it. But then, so after a6, I just go here. Like, I'm really going to get b5 in. Now, again, I think e5 is the move. How's the engine? Wow, engine says knight g8. So never mind. It says on this we can take it. And now if takes, bishop takes d5. Wow. Okay, I would have to calculate that one. But let's stick to the game. Queen d7, knight a4. So it's kind of funny because the same mistake I made allowing the knight to get active, like black did it, and then I'm like on it. I'm like, ooh, I see this. Like I'm coming in. So all right, he goes queen e7. I go knight to b6 anyway. Let's get in there. Does attack a rook. Rook a8, bishop f4. Okay, and I was definitely thinking about sinking this bishop in to the d6 square. Now I can tell you that my coach didn't like this idea. He said, oh, don't do that. He's like, they will sack the exchange, you know, with counterplay. And I was like, oh, because like if you think about it, then I just have this weakened pawn. My knight's hanging. Like I lose the 2 bishop advantage. There's so much about that exchange sack that is good for black. So yeah, I can't really do this. So knight d7, though, by my opponent. And I mean, this is what I like about the way I play chess is that you got to understand that when you apply pressure on somebody, especially in these rapid games, but slow time control as well, like when you apply pressure, people start like thinking about all kinds of stuff and they see ghosts and they just make a mistake. And that is what happened here. Like he probably looked at a bunch of moves and but this is a blunder. Hopefully you see why, right? Because this disconnects the rook, protecting that pawn. And we have this pin here, so that means I can just take now. So I did. Knight takes d5. It's also a tempo on the queen. So he went queen to h4. Okay, now this part of the game is actually like difficult. I was low on time. He was low on time. And this is extremely complicated. So let's try to see what's going on. My knight's under attack, that's for sure. Now, I could try to trap this queen. That is one thing I could do. I could try bishop g3, but then what? I actually thought he would just take this, right? He's actually protected there. And if I take and he takes, I mean, my knight's still under attack, but now he's going to take here with check. And I just don't know what I'm gaining out of this. He won a pawn, and it feels like maybe I'm even worse now. So let's ask the engine. Engine thinks white's still better after knight c7, which is a tempo move. And then just rook g8. Yeah, okay. So that is one variation, but I mean, slightly better. I mean, I'm in time pressure. I'm trying to, like, keep an advantage here. So after queen h4, this move doesn't work because there's this. So let's try g3. Let's try this. We can try this too. If queen takes, what if we play here? This is another idea from Michael Jolson because, all right, our knight is actually guarding some critical squares over there, so they couldn't retreat earlier. But now they're attacked, and I guess they go here. All right. Are they getting out, or what's going on? I mean, our knight is still attacked. Go play knight c7. Yeah, but I don't know. If I play knight c7, they just move their rook, right? Oh, it's the engine now. Yep. White's better here. Wow. Queen d1 is better for us because we stole a pawn and we kept it. So that's what happened there. Yeah, the knight's still here. This is still here. Wow. Okay. So g3 might have been a real option. Yeah, engine says this is a good move. Okay. So I ruled out g3, and I'm not sure why. Honestly, I think when I'm low in time, I don't calculate as well, that's for sure. I think I just saw they take my pawn, and I just left it there. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Because then my knight's still hanging, but I didn't actually calculate. So g3 would have been an option. Another move is to play knight c7. Now, I played this in the game. So after queen h4, I go knight c7. Because, I mean, it is a tempo. It saves the knight. I got to save the knight anyway. And I calculated this move, and I didn't like it. And there was some other move I looked at and didn't like. Oh, g3 here, I thought. Yeah, I think I did that lightning fast, though. At least for me. So he goes rook g8. And now I did play bishop g3, but I think maybe that's a mistake because now, I mean, he could take on d4, like definitely. And he did. Oh, wait, actually he played queen f6. Now it says white is like majorly winning here. And I must have just played the wrong move, unfortunately. What did I do? Yeah, I don't have any more moves from the game because I was in time pressure. But yeah, I don't recall what happened here. What would I even play? I'm sure I think I took the knight. I think I took here. And did this. And then he took here. And this is like still very, very complicated and difficult. And I ended up just losing this endgame somehow. And I don't recall how exactly. This position doesn't even look familiar, but the idea looks familiar. I was trying to go for this. So I'm not sure what happened, unfortunately. So the end of this game is pretty unsatisfying. My apologies for that. But I think overall, I outplayed a 1900. But then I got too low on time to finish up. And the position was very complicated. So it's back to my old friend. I need to play a little faster. I need to have a little more confidence. And I need to understand the positions that I'm playing in better. Yeah, I thought all of this was okay. Yeah, especially around here. I felt good. And my plan that I wanted, you know, it did work out. So this is Stacia, and I guess that'll be it for that one. A very unsatisfying ending, so my apologies, but I did end up losing this game, if you must know. I just got in time pressure, I just blundered, and that was it. So I think I might have even flagged. So it was just a matter of my opponent had more time, and I didn't have enough, and the position was too difficult to play under a minute, and I just lost. So there you go. But Ting, you know, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get you, Ting. He's probably watching this video now. So all right, that's about it, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.